Hi, Pastor Charlie here with New Hope Lutheran Church and Pastor Charlie's Toolbox. Welcome. So my granddaughter was telling me a while back about her experience of going out ice fishing. And I'm really happy she shared that story with me because it got me thinking about the tools that we use for ice fishing, which is one reason I want to talk about that today. Now, ice fishing requires different equipment from your usual run-of-the-mill fishing we have in the nicer weather because, well, the lake is frozen over when it's cold and a boat is kind of useless. So we might go out on a lake instead when it's all frozen and good and solid with something like this here, an ATV or a snowmobile or something like that. And once you get to the spot where you want to go fishing, you're going to need to have some kind of a hole in the ice. And for that, most people use what's called an ice auger. And the ice auger is actually pretty simple. It's like a drill in that the end here is very sharp, and when you spin it around like a drill, it makes ice chips. And the ice chips come up the flutes here and come out the top of the hole you're drilling. And this one is a hand one. So you just spin it around like this, and you get your hole deeper and deeper and deeper and deeper in the ice until finally you go through, and then you can pull it out and you've got a hole in the ice. One problem with that hole is it's got water in it, but it also has a bunch of ice chips in it that your drill made. So, to get those ice chips out, because they'll freeze pretty fast if you just leave the ice chips in there, you've got a little scoop like this, which is a bit like a strainer in that it has holes in it. And you put that down your hole and you scoop the ice out of it. And I usually put it all the ice chips onto a pile, kind of like I've got here with this bucket. And the reason I make a pile is because then I take a piece of pipe, and this is just a piece of plumbing pipe, and I shove it in there, pack it in, and let it freeze a bit. And for me then, that makes my fishing rod holder. So you just drop your bait down the hole as deep as you want it to go. You set your fishing rod in it and you let the bait do all the work. Pretty neat, eh? One of the problems that people have with ice fishing, though, it was mentioned by Raj Binder on the show 22 Minutes, and he said, well, ice fishing, it combines the fun of being cold with the thrill of waiting. And yes, you may have to wait, and if you're out in the open, it can get cold because you're just out there standing and waiting for something to happen, for a fish to bite. One way I get around that is by having a portable ice hut, which basically is just a tent. To put it up, you roll it out, you pop it out, the roof and then the sides, you pop them all out, and then you put it over your hole, and you fasten it down with these ice pegs, which you screw into the ice. So you get the corners down, and you got ice pegs for these guy lines as well. And that will hold it down on the ice so the wind doesn't blow it away, because that can just be nasty if that happens. And when you're done with it all, there's a handy little pocket here, and they just get stuffed into that pocket. Now, it's black, and the reason for that is that if it's a sunny day, the sun will attract the heat, well, the black, sorry, will attract the heat and make it warmer inside. And like I say, you're out of the wind. Now, the door just zips. Like that. And there's even a hook to hold it open. And then you take your rod and you step inside. Maybe you have a chair in here too. And you can sit here in nice comfort and do your fishing right from inside, out of the wind, maybe even with a little heat from a little heater or some candles set in tin cans, something like that. It makes ice fishing a lot more comfortable. Now, another reason I bring up fishing today is because our lesson for today from Mark 1 here, it talks about fishing as well, although in a totally different way. You see, Jesus has been gathering together his disciples amongst the professional fishermen in Galilee area, and one of the things Jesus says to them is, "Follow me, and I will send you out to fish for people." That's an interesting statement, because we might ask, how do you fish for people? Are we supposed to just drag them in, struggling, kicking and screaming? No. We don't use tools like hooks or rods or nets or anything like that to bring people to Jesus. Instead, we offer people something. We offer them love and hope and kindness, generosity and openness, which are all the things that God offers to us as well. We show and tell others how we've been blessed by living a God-pleasing life. And we then invite them to join us and do the same. We're all invited to be not just part of a community, there's that too, but we're also invited to enjoy a way of living that brings out the best in ourselves and in others. Just as all people are allowed to go fishing, regardless of how experienced they are, we're also encouraged to fish by invitation, by inviting others to the joys and blessings of being a part of God's wider family. So, I hope that in the days to come, you are blessed in your fishing as I've been.